On neither NBC nor ESPN tonight will we see the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers. It's another Amazon Prime game. Not very prime. Amazon not prime game tonight. The Panthers and the Bears. Carolina's 1-7. Chicago's 2-7. And we're going to see West Virginia's Tyson Bagent yet again because Justin Fields continues to be unable to play due to the thumb injury he suffered against the Vikings a few weeks ago. Let's listen to head coach Matt Eberflus on the status of Justin Fields. It's about 1 minute and 15 seconds. It requires some attention and interpretation on the back end. Let's have a listen.
Update on Justin Fields. He's progressing every day. He is not medically cleared yet. And Bagent will be our starter for this game, and Peterman will back him up. He said he's not medically cleared to go right now, and he's getting better, though. I mean, he's accuracy's improving. He's throwing it better, and he's starting to do more and more and more. So we'll see where it goes. And right now we're listing him as doubtful, and we'll see where it goes from there.
If he's not medically cleared, well, how come doubtful versus out?
Yeah, just to see. We got to give him one more day. But he's working hard, and it's getting better every day. So we'll see where it goes.
He's not playing tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not playing.
I'm having trouble understanding. He's not playing, but he's doubtful. Is he out or doubtful?
Now he's listed as doubtful.
But you're saying that he's out. He's not going to play.
We'll see where it goes. The chances are doubtful, 51% that he's in or out, and it's going to be. We'll see where it is. We got a little time left, but again, we'll declare him out when he's out. Right now, we're still listing him as doubtful.
But will he go through any sort of pregame work tomorrow?
He may. Yep, he may. Depends on what happens here in the next 24 hours.
Look, I don't know if that was just inartfulness in answering questions, but what a freaking mess. I mean, was that a snippet from a trial that's currently happening in Manhattan, or was that a press conference from the Chicago Bears head coach? What the hell was that? He's playing. He's not playing. He might play. He could play. No, he's not medically cleared. Why is he doubtful? I don't know. Third base. The whole thing was weird, man.
It was weird.
Right?
It definitely was weird. There's no doubt about it. I don't know if it feels like he got kind of caught in between of like, I don't think he's really playing, right? Like realistically, like one of those where, hey, Bagent's been the guy preparing all week. We expect him to play. Justin still can't throw the ball to normal capacity, where it's like common sense is like he's out and Bagent's starting, but technically he's not yet, right? Because the quarterback is still sitting there going, wait, I want to give it another day. Let me see how I feel tomorrow. And I think he had a little slip of the tongue, slip of the mind, whatever there, right? With, common sense he's out, but technically at this point he's not out yet, and he shouldn't have gone down the out road to start that conversation there.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded on one hand like he's trying to leave the door open just a little bit for the possibility that there's going to be some magical recovery in the next 24 hours, and Justin Fields is going to secure medical clearance and regain his full capacity.
Yeah.
But it's probably not going to happen. I kind of feel like that's what he was trying to say.
That's right.
We don't want to rule him out,
right,
just in case something that would happen. Because I think once you put out on a guy, you can't take it back.
I'm pretty
it's like
sure
taking
that's
your
right.
hand off the checker.
Right.
You can't say he's out and then say, oh, wait, he's been upgraded to doubtful.
Yes.
No, once he's out, he's out. So it may be that simple. But when he says, no, he's not playing tomorrow night, that kind of blows the whole thing. And one of the reasons why it's important is, in this age of legalized gambling, there isn't much that the teams have to provide. You would like to think whatever they provide is accurate. So when they say doubtful as the official injury designation, and the head coach says he's not playing, some people may get confused. Not that anybody's out there like getting ready to bet on Justin Fields props and bet on the Bears to win because they think Fields is going to come back. But if he's not playing, just make him out. And if the truth is we're just keeping a sliver of hope alive in the event that he can play, then just say that. So look, one of the realities of being a head coach in the NFL, you better be a damn good communicator, and you better be able to speak extemporaneously and answer questions in a way that is clear and understandable and not internally consistent in the same 75-second clip. Otherwise, you inherit problems that you otherwise don't need.
That's right. I agreed with that. That's where, standing in front of the podium, looking appropriate, saying the appropriate things. Yeah, it's not only sending a message to your fans, your players, right? It's about the overall look. And two, yeah, that message right there, if you got a group of fans that are like, I'm not sure about this guy, right? That adds to more of fuel on that fire of, I don't think he's sure what the hell's going on there. So how could I be sure about this guy if he's not sure who the hell's starting at quarterback tomorrow? What the hell is going on? So that's where it is. It's not a big deal. You're right, but it's worth us sitting here laughing, and it's probably get made fun of in Chicago a little more than it should because they are sitting here at 2-7, and people are looking to jump on them and Eberflus and the whole organization right now.
But that's an important point.
Yeah.
When your team is bad,
yeah,
and you're already a punchline, why give the local media, why give the fans, why give the people who are going to create the groundswell for change that kind of red meat that they can sink their teeth into and say, this guy doesn't get it. We need a new head coach. We need a new everything. This is the guy who's running our team. Where have you gone, Mike Ditka? So, yeah, I think that we don't realize how important it is. Just like offensive linemen. We don't realize how important they are until they fail to do their job. And we don't understand the importance of properly communicating as an NFL head coach until it's a train wreck. And that, all due respect to Matt Eberflus and the Bears, was a train wreck. It was unfortunate. It was an unforced error.
Yeah.
And it created unnecessary confusion. And the whole doubtful label is strange anyway. Remember, they revamped the injury reporting guidelines. I don't know. It's been 7-8 years. Used to be probable.
Right.
And probable was meaningless. Anyone who was listed as probable played. And then questionable was 50-50. And doubtful, it was like 25%. And then they've changed it so there's no probable. If you're less than 100%, you're questionable down to 50. If you're less than 50, you're doubtful down to 0. But nobody who's doubtful ever plays. It rarely happens. One I remember is the first game of the 2012 season, your Giants against the Cowboys. Yeah. Jason Witten was doubtful with a spleen condition, and somehow he played.
Yeah, right.
There's an interesting story out there about how he got medical clearance to play that I will defer to another day, but he played as doubtful. It does not happen very often. The fact that that's the one that sticks out to me, and maybe there's been one or two since
I can't
then,
think of one.
But usually if you're doubtful, you just don't play. But I think doubtful should be used more often. I mean, hell, every time, and we see what teams do. If you're the road team, you have 10 guys questionable. And I'm using just an example here. I'm not saying this happens all the time, but just by way of example. 10 guys are questionable. You're the visiting team. The day before the game, you're going to fly. That day, half of the guys that are questionable are ruled out because they're not making the trip. Well, if they weren't making the trip, why the hell were they questionable in the first place? They were doubtful.
Right.
But the NFL doesn't care. The NFL's not going to chase these teams around. The NFL doesn't want to scratch the surface too hard of this because the NFL at some level does not like to stand up to the world and say, hey, everybody, look, we got a bunch of cheaters here. Yeah. We're an inherently corrupt organization. Hey, prosecutor, you know that RICO law you're using down in Georgia? Why don't you use it against us? So, I'm kidding, sort of, but I also do believe that part of the PR concern is they don't want the world to look at the NFL and say, man, you got a lot of corrupt organizations under that shield.
Yeah, no, I think, I think you raised some fair points there. I do. I don't think that's the total reason for some of that stuff, too. At times, I do think it's NFL coaches, Mike, right? And NFL football players, where just kind of like in this scenario here, I'm sure the medical staff, everybody's going to Eberflus like he's out. He's not going to be able to do it. But coaches are somewhat hopeful, and then the player doesn't want to hear out yet. So that also, the player goes, give me a number 24 hours, right? I'm a special athlete. I heal differently. Let me just see. I might make a remarkable jump here. So I do think sometimes that, like your scenario with it's doubtful, they don't get on the plane, now he's out. It is because it goes to the 24th hour on some of these guys where they're still going, I think I might be able to do it. One more round of rehab, I think that could get me over the edge here to where I can, this weekend I think I'll be ready to go and play. And I think that also adds to maybe the confusion or the weirdness of some of these labels and how long they go on and why they are what they are too.
That explains one case. It doesn't explain why in almost every case no one is ever doubtful.
Yeah,
There would
you're
be
right.
some guys
right.
who
definitely
can't say
where
what
you know.
said.
Exactly.
They're not
right.
all saying,
right.
Just give me one more day.
No, you're right. And there's
I'll
definitely
go
a
from,
handful of where they come in for rehab on Monday and everybody, the training, there's no freaking way he'll be able to play this week, but they still get listed as doubtful for a day or two before it finally becomes out or 3
questionable.
days. Or questionable, excuse me, right. And that's where I think it is a little misleading at times for sure.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.